Hello, my name is Creostix, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Case 1, Trial 2 is probably what this is going to be called. We'll worry about the exact title a bit later, but continuing from where we left off last time, immediately after 22nd November, 11:38 a.m., Supreme Court of Judicature Defendants, Antechamber number 5. Excellent work, Ruinosuke. That was superb. Cool. I yelled yes with gusto. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes were popping, your knees were knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was just like you might be on something and can I have some? Yes. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you'd started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I am sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman, how about your bandana? I want a wind machine that always does something like that with my hair, and can you tell me the secret of the wind? And I think we'll reach some sort of an agreement. Yes. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Right. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself, then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor, and just after I bent down and picked it up, which, I mean, I think the moral of the story is, whenever you see a gun, just go pick it up immediately and not think about it. Think about it, it's gonna be fine. Yes. I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking about the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Maybe the bandana shows his moods like a cat's ears? Maybe. Well, then I need to learn the bandana secrets, and how can I apply it to my hair? That's the next question. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Hi, Professor Mikotoba. There we are. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you trying to say, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma! Well then. It looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Did you know Wilson? Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at the UMA, and it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I have no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defendant Naruhodo, court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before those old fossils know what's hit them. Kazuma? What? Thank you, really. What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. There we are. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. I'm not an expert on friendship, but I don't think that's how friendships should work necessarily. Like, if something doesn't happen, then I will give up on my dreams and have a lousy life. Like, that sounds... like, I respect the thought in there somewhere, but I feel like there's an emotional unhealthiness in there somewhere, or a psychological one, or something. I don't know. Like, how about instead, try your very best and try and have your dreams regardless of what happens? Maybe? So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for later, for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals like I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. Let's go. I mean, it's not, but maybe they're trying to show... yeah, I think it's like a show of loyalty and honorable loyalty and such, but I don't think it's healthy. Like, that's not a very healthy way of showing loyalty, I feel. Like, it doesn't sound productive, you know? Like, there's a positive thought as an idea in there, but the execution doesn't sound healthy, so... 22nd of November, 12:09 p.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Let's go! The court hereby resumes the trial of Ruinosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Auchi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, I haven't heard the word stripling before. The prosecution is now under a rather painful scrutiny from the government. He probably means me or Ruinosuke, but like I haven't heard the word stripling before. Sorry. But the government scrutinize, that's their job. I don't think the government's job is to scrutinize. The government's job, I think, above all else, is essentially provide safety to its citizens. I think. Like, or at least it's probably the top 3 or 4, right? Like, provide safety to citizens and provide citizens with a form of government that they, at least on a majority basis, agree on, and have a set of laws that can create a functioning society and such and such. I don't think scrutinizing is... It's highly unlikely that the good relations we've forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? Yes, the all-important Afton treaty. Yes. Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ruinosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up, you jumped-up jerky boy! Haha, you and your friend know nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. Apparently your very weird hair and sweat apparently do know, though. I'm trying to figure out where I've seen this symbol before. Like this white cross with the red thing in the middle. I've seen this, but I can't place it. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Like, I'm wondering if I've seen it before in an Ace Attorney game, or if it's just from something else, or both. I don't know. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert, I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Ruinosuke, despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brat! Thank you, Counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system, and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. Well, the prosecution doesn't, that's for sure.
Selene, Dufresne! Selene, Davida!
What? Stooge! Hi! What in the... That's multiple dozens of the peoples! How... Stooge, thank you! Holy crap, how did you... thank you, did you have a good stream? Did you have a good time with Subnautica Below Zero? That's a lot of torpedoes from a Subnautica game, and that's a very fitting thing too. To have torpedoes in Subnautica. How was the stream? Jesus Christums! Thank you! Holy crap! Jesus, hi, everyone from Stooge's stream. My name is Kriostix. I am a variety streamer from Finland. I stream almost anything, as long as it's probably usually single player, but beyond that I stream anything from Ace Attorney to Serious Sam to, I don't know, card games to Witcher to you know, really anything. From shooters to visual novels and everything in between, driving games included. Yes. But I hope everyone has had an excellent, excellent day, and I'm doing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which is the Western released from last week, the Western released Ace Attorney spin-off from, like, you know, historically from like late 1800s or early 1900s. I'm not exactly sure when, but in the ballpark, right? I hope. It came out in Japan like maybe 15 years ago, more-ish, less, and finally was released in the West, and I'm excited and happy, and I can finally play the game, and I waited for an official release for so long, and it's finally here, and we are about to embark on a journey toward the truth with many, many objections. Yes. Fantastic day in Subnautica, better than last week where I lost my first prawn suit. Ah, right. I was fortunate in a raid and I wanted to bring people over to you. I cannot convey fully in words how much I appreciate that. Like, it's... Yeah, your timing couldn't have been more perfect, as I have had lots of... Before this stream, lots of both issues and whatever other stuff. Thank you so much. I so appreciate that. I'll have to let Strega know about this in case she isn't aware. Absolutely should. I don't know, but just in case, so absolutely, like, make sure that she does. It came out on Steam like a week ago, I think. I think it's out on PS4 and probably Switch as well, but not on Xbox, but on, you know, PC. You know, as long as I can play it, right? All right. Ace Attorney is among her favorite series. That's me too. Like, this is my newest big fandom series. I fell in love with Ace Attorney 3 years ago, I think, when I got a very discounted 3DS and got the games under. Oof, hell yeah. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. Into the Steam page? Not on the top of my head, but it's not gonna take me a long time to find it. Hold on. Try that for size. It should work, right? It has like the two great Ace Attorney games. So 2 games in one package. Which is, you know, and I think it's 40 euros or whatever is the currency that, you know, is wherever. But for me, it was 39.99 euros, which was I'm willing to do that for Ace Attorney, right? Hell yeah. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett. Yes. Careful with the glasses. That doesn't look healthy. Your Excellency. Yes. Why is she wearing a swan? I've done that before on my desk. Very painful. I can imagine. Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Tea! Someone bring English tea! In England, no discussions take place without tea. Right, is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. Yeah, but Hosonaga is speaking, and why not? Okay. So, my name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at La Carnival, but my true... Yes, we all know about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. It's a style then, I see. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh yeah, I think I did. Didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Well, I guess we are assuming a little bit, but I guess she is a woman, so... Isn't that accurate? Sorry, Runes, okay, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. But that's different. Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. Uh-huh. Can we just call guilty and go home? This seems like a challenge. Someone call the Heavens Vault experts or something. It's a linguistic game about like translating. Right. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what? I understand the question mark, and I think there's an L in there somewhere. Uh-huh. He was under stress, can't expect him to think of everything. Right. The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. Visiting research student currently enrolled in Hume University's medical faculty. Does she have an interpreter with her when she's studying, or how does that work? Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. Haha, you'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Runosuke. Right. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called La Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? Doobly 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 doobly. Uh-huh. Yes, I am guilty, and we're gonna go home, yes? She says yes. She says yes, she is guilty, and we can all go home, and it's fine. Yes, I think I have a perfect translation right there. We can all just grab a coffee, and it's fine. Yes? Yes. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. Right. I believe she's saying, I'm so sorry for murdering Mr. Wilson, and I hope that the court will believe me fully when I say that I'm guilty, and I hope for a very swift resolution in saying not guilty to Ruinosuke, thank you, your lordship, excellency, such and such. I think that's a 10 out of 10 translation, and I feel we should totally agree with her wishes, and also her swan will keep her company in the jail cell where she will probably, yes, I think we've totally like done our due diligence, at least more than the prosecution ever did, and I think we're good. Translating by whisper. Good. Maybe it's supposed to be elegant to whisper. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university. Oh, totally worth. Yeah, I needed to flee the murder scene because I had a school paper to show to my teacher. Right, good. So she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape, I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Why do you keep saying special orders? Like, aren't they just orders in the end? Like, aren't all orders in a chain of command special? Like, you know. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Yes, I am guilty. Please say not guilty to Runuse. Okay. Is that like the dog act my home? Yeah. Ate your homework. Yeah. Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. You don't say. Do you mean to say... Yes, it would appear the lady was guilty and we can all go home. I think... I mean, come on. I mean, I'm not jumping to a conclusion. I'm just like, cool. I am just totally accurately translating the English. It's fine. Yes. Lady witnessed the crime. You don't say. The very moment when the accused standing right there in this courtroom shot the victim in cold blood, meaning she's lying and she did it. There we are. Boom. That's the guilty one. There we are. Alright. Why did you murder Wilson? Did he say something bad about your swan? Order in the court. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. You can leave, Ouchie. You haven't done anything to pursue the truth in this case. You can just go and have a cup of water and just think about your life choices. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. It is the Swan Lady. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. Oh boy. Also, what's with the carnival mask? Like, I'm not sure that's allowed in a courtroom. Anywhere. Like, after the like, photograph press has left. A frightening and sorrowful sight. Let's go. Objection! See, she is speaking gibberish. That means she's guilty. Then, there we are. Case cracked. Yes. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beef steak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument about your swan, and then you shot Wilson. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. Oh, sorry, I was mistaken. I was meaning to say I shot the professor right before my eyes, and my swan is the witness. Can we cross-examine the swan? I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. That means nothing. Like, also, Runesuke also doesn't care. Yes! Jesus. No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. Objection! Quiet, you filthy wretch. You are the one who brought two perjuring witnesses here and have no interest in the actual facts of the case. You can leave. Ouchie, you can go. Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard, And look at this Snow White angel who is a liar and a murderer. Come on now. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine that she's a liar and a murderer. You're still making the same mistakes, Ruinosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. I would like to point out that it was Kazuma himself who, in this exact kind of a situation, when the testimony was said, but the cross-examination had not yet started, it was Kazuma himself who absolutely told me to blurt out if there was a clear lie in there. That's what he said, and now, oh, you need to learn to shush your mouth, my dude. Like, Kazuma, you are a bandana-wearing a-hole. Also, your bandana is no longer moving around. I believe that means that you also feel that you have made a mistake, and you need to go home and think about your mistake, and watch your katana very closely, and hold it firmly, back and forth, and wonder what you've been doing. Yes. Okay. But he's so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the 2 witnesses who testified before and reported back to the bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so let her go. Yes, she was so pretty, she totally couldn't have been the murderer, although she's the only one who could have done it. Right. The testimonies of the last 2 witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so. On the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there's nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. Well, in the hat, for one. And that dress just under the waist has about, I don't know, 4 cubic meters worth of space. She could hide a car under there. Come on, Hosonaga, you and your flawless investigations. Like she could hide a house in that getup. Come on! What the hell? I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit. If she wanted to, yeah. Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. Oh really? Oh really? Yeah, I mean, there's totally too many hiding places in her dress, therefore we just can't assume that she's hiding anything. Oh. Right, good. I can testify there's tons of spots to hide a gun, since I did not want to go there. I had to step away, but I'm going to actually bounce on spoilers and all. Yeah, I totally get it. Hey, Stooge, thank you once more for the huge raid. I can't remember when I've ever seen numbers like that. Thank you so much. I'm so... you really made my day, and I can't fully convey in words how much you just did that. And have an excellent rest of the day, and thank you again. Hell yeah, keep being you, and you as well, and thank you. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are witnesses' own words on the matter. And they are lies. So, that's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. Ruinosuke, I like the enthusiasm, but that's not the words I would be using, and second, it could be in the hat. Just saying. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ruinosuke. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. Well now, I mean... I have to question the logic of, like, She can literally hide an entire building in her dress and hat as a total thing, and somehow the court just doesn't get that as proof that she could hide a gun. Like, come on. The defense may now cross-examine the witness, and I'm going to cross-examine, like... Kazuki, could you borrow the katana? I could just cross-examine her swan, for one. With gusto. Alright, let's go. A frightening and sorrowful sight. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. Okay, at least we don't need to sit through the gibberish every time. Okay, so okay, hold on. What strikes me as something that's pressable in a good way? I think pressing the last two might be a good start. It's just a hunch. I don't, you know.
Yes!
Yes! Like I said, I did not shoot that gun. And like I said, there's no point repeating that assertion over and over. Honestly, there might be a point to it, though. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side. Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Well, yes, that's... Actually, don't say that. You need to shut up right now. Just... As your streamer lawyer of Ruinosuke, I need to mention, you need to always shut up when talking about anything you did that might be not good for you. Just dot, and... Shush! There's no reason to say that. But all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant, because that's his hobby. He, as a hobby, picks up random guns he sees on the floor. It's you know. In fact, yes! There was someone much closer to the victim than me at that time. Objection! That will do, you dirty, rotten scoundrel. Dirty? I took a shower only yesterday, it's fine. Your baseless accusations could very well cause an international incident, boy. If she's a murderer, then your incompetence could cause an incident in both this courtroom and in your pants. Dude, just shush. It seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours. Chihaha, what nonsense. The lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway. I don't carry a gun myself, so okay, so press this.
Yes!
Yes! It's all very well saying that, but can you prove it? Absolutely. I verified it personally. Oh, really? You verified it? Yes, immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm not." That's all you did? You just asked her? Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector. No. You and your Listen. You are not fit to be any sort of a policeman in any way. You just asked. Like, hey, do you have a gun? Hey, excuse me, are you a murderer? No. Okay, well then you can just go home from the crime scene and it's fine. Jesus, man, come on. Come on. Why on earth not? The honorable English gentlewoman clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. Oh, come on. There was obviously no need for any further probing into the matter. Oh, come now. Or there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps. Think what you will, but if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts. In other words, he wants evidence. Let me translate. Oh, I'm sorry, I was misunderstood. I was carrying a gun in my swan and I killed Wilson. I'm sorry for any misunderstandings. Can you please call me guilty now? Like, I'm really fluent in the doobly-doo of scribbly notes, see? Like, that's word for word what she said. The lady wishes to point out that, of course, she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation, but as she was the murderer and no one was willing to listen to her, she went home to have a bit of tea. Yes. But she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of there. Not to get her out of there, I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she is in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime. Which is why she is only too happy to cooperate and testify here in court today, of course. Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. Ouchie, listen. Just don't. You have no idea what's going on. Just grab your fan and go take a walk. You could at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you. So she's maintaining that she got into an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him. Which is an out-and-out, totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. No, it's not! Lies are not compelling, sorry. After all, she's an elegant, refined, and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. None of those matter. Elegant, refined, young, or beautiful, or from Great Britain mean squat. I believe Jack the Ripper was also at some point elegant, refined, young, beautiful, and a gentle couple of letters off and gentleman from Great Britain, so, you know. Doesn't really mean anything, my dude. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. Honestly, I think he's a pretty good dresser, though. That like, not him here, like, this looks good too, but, you know, it's a kind of a casual, almost military, but in the middle of there. It looks fine. I'm dressed exactly the same way as you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. And I think the armband, maybe. Well, anyway, I think? Well, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that is. Also, I don't think Ruinosuke has a katana. Probably. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even you, with your thick skin, must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well, I feel half dead already. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better. I mean, hold on. The inconsistency is that she's lying about you shooting him. Now, it's just a point of proving it. That's, you're just... Come on now. The first thing to do is press her on any of her statements that seem even slightly off to you. I did, but maybe the other three are the key. Do that and an opening will present itself, I promise you. Yeah, I know. I need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. Righto. Okay, so if I can avoid pressing everything, I'm gonna just try and see what else like jumps at me from these three. Maybe.
Yes!
Yes! I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you, it was meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. Dude, come on. Harmo, hi! Greetings, and welcome, and I hope you've had an excellent day. We've made headway in the first case of the Great Ace Attorney, and we have learned indeed that the lady with the swan hat is absolutely at least lying, and is, let's say, possibly the murderer. I don't want to jump to a conclusion yet, but I have a feeling she probably is. English is the future. We must all Supiku Ingurishu. Jesus. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, or only in the presence of a beautiful woman. Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. This is true. I have to... Although, to be complete... okay, according to these two, the translation is correct by the detective there, so, okay. I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in what we said, doesn't it? Yeah, still had some coffee to drink. And the next time he got up after that was when I'd finished my coffee and stood up to leave. The beef? Like, from these two, the range to meet is like... Oh! Maybe that's the odd one, because the professor couldn't eat, so...
Yes!
Maybe? After 2 PM, in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
Objection!
Objection! You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are en vogue, isn't that right? No. Ugh. A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. Right. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is. So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? God damn, it's the last one. Come on.
Yes!
Yes! He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he just had a tooth removed at Hotta Clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of the fact? Of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here, is that right, Miss Brett? How dare you eat meat, you swan murdering... That's right, yeah. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as if... No! That is not true. The steak had been eaten a little more after the events. That's for damn sure. Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant land on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight, which is herself, so crush her. Yes. Anyone else notice he didn't translate yet she responded? Yeah. It kinda... I mean, there was a very simple no in there, if that's what you mean. Like, that was like a cursive no. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all. Like... Oh! Since you might be onto something, I didn't pick up on that, yeah. Actually, I wasn't thinking. That's a good call. She probably understands, yeah. Good catch. Excellent catch. It took me a minute to understand what she said. I was like, oh, right. I did not catch that. That's a good one. That's right. Other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes. The professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Ruinosuke, about the witness's last statement? Safety safe, I have no clue. It's the only thing I got. It's interesting how sometimes he just like does the and then like at least once he did a good like bang off the table and other than just like that last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing, The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. Very well. Miss Brett, kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. Sin? Again, I mean, she just responded without being translated to. That's a good call. That's happened at least twice now. Huh. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I would really use that phrase. I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ruinosuke. Beef steak from Sam. The professor and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. Do I press this again? Because I don't think that's... I guess the specific thing was that he said very briefly that the thing was left as is, and that's just not true. Like, because this was eaten more here than what is shown at the murder scene here. Just one glass in the picture? Possibly. Yep, there we are. That's probably the thing to do that. Yeah, cool, good. Quick safety save. But that's probably the answer, yeah. Let's go.
Yes!
Yes! That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. With the two glasses, yeah, that's the thing. That is exactly the thing. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. I mean, I picked up on that, and I would have wanted to say that more with the because it's been eaten more than it was eaten too. That is correct, the lady says. Again, I don't think she was translated to. I mean, she could understand it, but then again, why would she need to? I mean, I suppose it's possible that she understands enough to hear, but not enough to speak it. But well, that is, it's odd, very odd. Bruno's okay, what is it about the print that looks so odd to you? Well, it's all lies! All of them! Lies! They're in cahoots! Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Ah! You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here. Is she gonna say, "Oh, we shared a glass because that's how we do it in England with swan hats"? Yes.
Objection!
Objection! We're supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae. Minutia? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case? Again, listen, man. I can respect the notion that you have no interest in the actual facts of the case, but then you don't need to be here. You can go home. Adults need to actually solve the case. Like, you can leave. Come on, man.
Objection!
Love how you look at the camera like, what is it? Yeah. Minutia, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. Oh, yeah, so, you know, perjury and then, like, coercing others into perjury, not searching a person, the main suspect, for a gun, believing the main suspect's word for "I didn't kill anyone," giving out your undercover identity by giving your own business card out. Reckless. Right. She's totally, like, would never do anything reckless. It's, yeah. But you did. Yes, he did. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. I mean, yeah. On top of that, he was, and as Sins points out, quote, he was ordered to remove all evidence of her presence. He just admitted to that before. In the last part, like, these people, come on. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Oh, I'm sorry. I must have dropped the glass at the shock of me shooting Dr. Wilson, can you please arrest me? I'm guilty. Please, 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 guilty, please. That's the exact translation. Like, there's a little, like, that one curve at the second line there, like, it adds an extra please with a very small curve in the whole symbol there. So it's a very efficient way to say an extra please in the middle there. Like, it's an intricate detail in linguistics, you see. Inspector, what did the lady just say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table, and she's hiding it in the same place where she's hiding the gun and everything else. Like, just come on now. What? How dare you? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. Right. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. Oh, goody. That sounds totally on the up and up. I think we should totally believe everything she says now. Good gracious. Sorry. That's how I imagined that sounded. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. You must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or two in her state of disarray? Yeah, the thing is, though, you just said that you can't conceal anything in her getup, so, yeah. There's a problem there, you see. That's absurd. Oh, really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young, beautiful woman of mischief? Yes, and of murder. Idiot. Come on. What? No. This can't be put down as mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. Oh, excuse me. Someone must have misheard me. I said I dropped the glass while I was in shock of the fact that I had shot Wilson, and therefore I would like to be pronounced guilty right now. Please, please, pretty please, extra please on top. It's again that tiny little squid right there. That squiggly. It's the extra please in the linguistics of it. It's very intricate, you see. I have to step away. I just know I'm gonna miss something good. BRB. I have a good BRB. It would seem that I'll catch up if anything happens. Or like, you know, I'll explain a quick synopsis of whatever if need be. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. Is she carrying the small handbag inside the swan she's wearing? Just, you know, wondering out loud. A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency, a small handheld pouch, commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. I don't know how common handbags were, so okay, but I would imagine many had them anyway, but alright. So the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. And the gun in the handbag? That's inside the swan? That's inside the other swan? Like, seriously, her hat could be hiding a swan that's hiding another swan that's hiding a handbag that's hiding a gun. Like, come on. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. The student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning. Right. The student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning. Yep, You got me there, man. But in the end, it comes to nothing. Right. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this class. I mean, Harmo, I can't begin to explain how completely disinterested in reality the prosecutor is. Like, it's crazy. Like, at first he brought 2 witnesses to the stand who both perjured themselves in claiming the lady in front of us didn't even exist. And it was like, oh, well, I mean, surely the dude still did it, though, and he's a scoundrel, and we don't care if that's the truth or not. Like, oh, Jesus Christ, come on. Come on. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Oh, come on, Judge, please. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? No. Well, I don't know really. Well, no is a good answer. If you want to pursue this matter further, safety save.
Oh boy.
You're gonna need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. She took the glass away in her handbag. Is there a deeper significance there? It's... I mean, the handbag, really. Wait, the lady put her glass in her handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, and how her dress can hide a Volkswagen. Like, come on! Come on! In which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. Inside a Volkswagen, yes. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really very simple. The witness is the murderer. The end. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. A true murder weapon, if you will. You can't seriously be suggesting... Inspector Hosonaga. Yeah? Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? And her hat, and her dress? She could be carrying literally an entire army's worth of AK-47s in there. Come on! And a couple of A-bombs on top. No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. I'm not sure of the exact timing, but I did recently learn that pockets in women's clothes went out of fashion much more recently than is commonly thought. As you point out, there's plenty of room in a bustle of hoop skirt for pockets. Yeah. What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Ouchie? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? I mean, not 15 minutes ago, you were perfectly happy in accepting that she said, oh, I wasn't carrying a gun, and you were just fine taking that as the absolute fact. So shush you. You can, again, Ouchie, you can go home. Adults need to actually crack the case. Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? How's the tuberculosis coming? Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly, you have no faith in the police. With good reason. Like, if the police are, like, half as incompetent as you are, like, the country is essentially a failed state. So, yeah. Sorry. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting, because she says I wasn't carrying a gun. Right. Simply because it was unnecessary, because she said she wasn't carrying a gun, right? Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. Uh-huh. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. Oh, boy. You and your flawless investigations, my dude, what? Come on. This photographic print. Yeah? This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. There's a bull tattoo or a birthmark or something in the wrist. So it's a see-through handbag. Assuming that there's no other side to it, though. There might be. I think we need to find the handbag and turn it around. For one. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. On one side, though, only. Even my bag has, like, 3 or 4 different, like, you know, mid-walls in it or whatever. Well, not 4, but I think even 3. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. I don't trust it, no. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. You and your incompetence, my dude. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious, except for you, because you're an idiot. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here, except her opportunity that she had the time to do it. She was at the crime scene, literally at the spot where she could have done it, and she has enough on her in clothing to hide items in that she could be hiding essentially 2 cars inside her clothes. A Volkswagen and a very small Mini Cooper on top, if you really squeeze it in. Like, just come on. Come on. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. That doesn't really work out, man. Runosuke, calm down. Deep breaths. We're gonna crack the case. We're gonna cleave right through with the katana. It's gonna be fine. Order, order. Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. That tattoo is gonna be important later. I don't, like, we'll see, right? A photograph taken by Hosonaga-san after the, or the birthmark, whichever. It shows Miss Brett's handbag on a chair by the victim's table. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. Not really, no. As the photographic print just submitted to the court record appears to have no further significance, why did you then want the thing in the court record if it has no further significance? I'm satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling that the lady did it, or otherwise you are a moron. Indeed, there's only one logical conclusion, that the Swan Lady did it. Come on. That the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of the crime. I mean, I realize the Ace Attorney prosecutors are blind and everything, but this is a little obvious. Come on. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Honestly, no, you're not. At the start, you were the prime suspect of the murder case. Now you've proven that 2 witnesses were, perjured themselves. The detective is completely incompetent. And you have in the stand the actual almost certain murderer. I think you're probably better off right now. Just, come on. Think positive, my dude. Not you too, Kazuma. Come on. Kazuma? Is he collecting energy for a huge objection? Or a katana strike? I'm sorry, Runosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. Unless we slash the gavel from the judge's hand with a sudden katana strike. Yes. What? You mean this is it? I think he is pulling my leg. Or something. Chihaha. I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student, but the weak are meat while the strong eat. That doesn't... You were wasting your time. There is no way to defeat true justice. Uh-huh. A fact you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. I think his dream was going to slip through anyway. That statement is kind of meaningless, because we've already established that either, if I lose, because he wasn't able, if he isn't able to help prove the innocence, he's not gonna go anyway. And if I win, then I go. We've already established this. No matter how this court proceeding goes, his dream of going to Britain is already gone. That's established already. That doesn't have any, guilty or not guilty, that doesn't change that fact in any way. It's just a bit of a different way of not going, but never going, though. Yeah. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance now to turning this trial around? Can you just borrow the katana and make them see reason? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective pursues that we can contest. Really? It's gonna come, I'm just wondering what this still is gonna do, but, Which means, there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well, I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems we will be able to report to the British government on time after all. That smug little... Runosuke Naruhodo, having considered all of the evidence placed before me, I hereby find you... Yes! Oh boy. Yes! That's exactly what you need to... Yeah, that's the positive attitude right there. At the face of a guilty verdict, yell yes! Oh... Wow. Wait, Your Excellency. Ruinosuke? I don't think you can rule on this case yet. Objection! This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes!
Yes! Have we seen this glove before, or the thing? Your Excellency, just a moment you just did this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there's no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, that means that if there's a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question. Like, is that your birthmark or what? Like, is it your hand? Like, what's going on?
Objection!
This is blatant clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence. I don't know what you're doing, Ruinous. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I'm hoping that it's not a case of a thing we can't see yet in the court record, or an evidence that we can't see. That's usually not the case in ace turning games, though. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, but I'm just wondering. So this has only one glass here. The glass's position is correct in here as well, so that's not the problem. Oh! It's this one! It's from here is where the burn mark is, or the what I thought was a tattoo is from here. Okay, what does that mean, though? So it means it was on the what does... How does that change anything? Hold on. Okay, let me think for a minute. Or like why is that important? So So it's this hand, yeah. So he would have been turned, yeah. So he's like right hand, yeah. That checks out. I'm trying to think why that's important before I continue. Like it. Can't really interact with that. Like, does that mean something about the order in which she took the glass? But I don't... Like, that doesn't really... Like, it's gonna be important, but why? Okay, let's continue. I'm not sure why that's important, or if that's the problem. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from the handbag. Again, but okay, why would... So he placed the hand on the thing. Does that mean that... Does that mean that the... Does that mean that the doctor was killed facing the table and her hand like slumped on the... But why is the stake facing the doctor anyway, though? So weird. I can't quite put the pieces together here. My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I'm desperate. But this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If I could only put my finger on it. Well, I can, but I need to probably make a safety save before, because I'm kind of, Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity. What? But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. I remember that animation, I think, from at least Spirit of Justice. I don't know if it like originated here, maybe. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. Okay, so do I move it WASD or yeah? So that probably because it doesn't like highlight anywhere. So I'm not sure what this means, but
Yes!
Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Objection! Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. Yes, it is a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. Yes, we do. But again, I'm not sure what that means. Other than, like, he was facing the table when he died and then was turned around, that's probably it, then. I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. That might be the beginning and the end of that one, yeah. However, as Prosecutor Auchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Haha. She's saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. The burn happened the moment I shot Wilson. His hand fell on the plate that had the steak on it. I'm so sorry. Could you please pronounce me guilty, pretty please?" That's another quick squiggle right there means pretty please. Like that's the linguistic small details again. It's very intricate. Yes. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. No. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. Oh, come on. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What's your thinking on this, Ruinosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am? If we can just link that burn to the case. If we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open. Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it. I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? Looks kind of colorless to begin with, but okay. I have to find some link between that burn and the case. Let's go. Let's go. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. This thing.
Yes!
Here we are. What is this, counsel? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. Oh, sure. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady and any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection!
Objection! You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn? Let's go. Man, I hope I could just like... Oh, I can. Good. Okay. There. Present.
Yes!
Yes! The beef steak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate? Ah! I think he sat on a cactus. Your Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. Ah! You pointless detective who missed it? Or are in cahoots to kill Wilson might actually as well, probably, maybe? This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Ah! Ryunosuke, you genius! You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection!
Objection! But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. Oh, come on. It could have been the day before or the day before that. It most likely happened at some other unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
Objection! Sadly, Prosecutor Ouchie, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. But... I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes!
Yes! There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ouchie? Well, yes, I suppose. But the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? He was already dead. I almost don't believe it, Runosuke. Do you think... Can it really be true? He was already dead when the burn happened? Oh my. Okay, back. No worries, I'll do a playback to see what I missed. Okay, cool. Like, essentially, long story short, we noticed that the the tattoo at the wrist in the photograph with the handbag was actually a burn mark from the plate with the beef, and there was no screaming for a burn mark. Therefore, I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson... Oh, come on. Misclick! The professor, being absent-minded as usual, was unaware of his hand falling into the piping hot plate and didn't even notice the burn happening. Didn't even know the professor, and here you are labeling him as a bumbling scatterbrain. That's maybe a little too easy to misclick right there. How about I hold your wrist on a hot plate and we see how your bumbling scatterbrain copes? Perhaps the scream you let out will wake you up a bit. Well, I wonder if I have a autosave. Like it, I think it does those. I'll take the hit, whatever. Don't call me a partner after coming up with nonsense like that. This is a critical moment. It may very well be our only chance to turn things in our favor. So come on, Runosuke, you can do it. Or rather, you have to do it. You're the only one who can. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. Day in question, Dr. Wilson was already dead. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible, apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting... Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead. Haha. Already dead? Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. Madness. brought on the table, not necessarily. That's jumping a little bit to a conclusion. That just means that when the burn happened, he was dead. But, well, I mean, how long will it take for it to cool off, I suppose? Actually, why do you serve beef plates that are 90 degrees centigrade? That's my second question. That sounds kinda odd. Oh. The victim was killed by a gunshot. That's right. Absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is another ridiculously ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts. Objection! No, Prosecutor Ouchie, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon? As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. I've been to a restaurant that serves steak on hot plates. They sizzle very, very nicely. Ah, I see. I'm just wondering, like how long, if they do that? So when they do that, how long is the plate hot enough to still do a burn like that? Is my next question. Like, I was wondering, like, he said when the steak was brought to him, he was already dead. Depending on how long the plate will remain hot enough to burn like that, that's jumping to a conclusion, because he could have, as far as I can tell, gotten the plate there while he was still alive and died shortly after, but wasn't yet dead when the steak was brought to, you know. That was odd. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. For at least a few minutes usually, yeah. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement. But Your Excellency! The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Haha, she can speak the words! He was all a sham, especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Yes. Well, of course I do. I'm studying it in your country, after all. I mean, you know, wondering about that. But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? Because she is all high and mighty and wants to waste our time, apparently. My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. Oh, get off your high horse. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. Oh yeah, win over the hearts and minds right there, yeah. Well, that's your problem. Oh boy. But it seems the men of this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen, like Jack the Ripper, for instance, a virtuous, chivalrous English gentleman who totally has all the chivalrous virtues of it, yes. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with all on your own level. Aha. Oh, well... You are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. Oh, yeah, in a way that's not good, just saying. We're truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us. Aha. I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So, we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ruinosuke. Let's go. Witness testimony, the victim's death. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burned his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. Oh, there's plenty. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. You're probably right on that point, though. She probably has a point there. She's probably right on the money right there. I'm thinking that if the rest of the investigative, excellencies here are anything like investigator Hoto, whatchamacallit here, I forget the name here. I believe if in an empty room, apart from two people, one person shot the other, and detective there was watching through the window the whole time, he would be like, my flawless investigation says that that the guilty party is the person who is living 14 million miles away from here on, Jupiter or whatever. And that's the answer. And I'm like, thanks. Like, that is honestly the worst. Like, I mean, Gumshoe is a bit of a bumbling fool. That boy over there is not only an incompetent moron in every level, but also completely arrogant and unaware of this. At least Gumshoe, I think in some ways, has ever so slightly more self-awareness, I think. Just a tiny bit. That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go on in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Oh, goody. Easy does it. I hope that is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Oh, yeah, sure. Not at all, not at all. It's a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And poison is a very good answer, Harmo. And what a witch indeed. Like if she would live in the desert, she would be a sand witch. She is that much of a witch, yes. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Huh? Thanks? Was that a prayer then? Nah. Well, you have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. We'll see. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, Counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with the witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Alright. Yes! If that helps. Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Alright, let's go. Let's go. What do you think, Ryunosuke? I don't know. I think this could be a hard work. She can speak Japanese brilliantly, but she doesn't seem to want to say very much. The more she says, the more she's likely to give away. This Englishwoman knows that only too well. She's quite formidable. Dr. Wilson's burn does us something, I'm sure. Yeah, many ways to take that. Yep, yeah. Smack the cheese when needing to focus on shoot. Yeah, I mean, if it works for you, go for it. I need to use this cross-examination to find out what. First things first, I'm going to press her on everything she said and try to make her blurt something out. What is it, Kazuma? What are you thinking? Oh, don't worry. It's nothing. Okay, like, what doesn't...
Yes!
Let's press on the toast. As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered that drink, correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although... Whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. Ah, I have enough English to understand that at least. For the benefit of others in the court, it means bless you. I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway. Doesn't remember if she drank that. That's what I mean when I say that. Yeah. Totally. Okay, press on the gunshot or the post-mortem thing. I think this is probably a really big part, but I might need to open her up on something else before I press on this. I got a feeling, maybe.
Yes!
Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes! Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to the innocent man's life. Huh. So my thinking is, like, we talked about the poison, right? I think what's happened is that, like, I'm just wondering what the damn you is into. Like, does it mean that the professor didn't drink and she had to resort to shooting, or what? But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burned his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must have already have been dead at that point.
Objection!
Objection! And yet the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Ouchie is right. Ah. Well, let's go here then.
Yes!
Show the way to kill, without leaving a trace. If someone is shot or strangled or stabbed or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga? As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. Again, I have counted the flaws so many times it would feel pointless by this point. There would be physical traces with all those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did live his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the thought, calling such a sweet young lady's innocence in the question. On my honor, I Taketsuchi Ouchi will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence. I'm curious about this bit.
Yes!
Investigative techniques. Inferior, what do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. La Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes place... Whoa! Okay. I think I've seen this reaction in Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton, or however it goes. The Professor Layton Ace Attorney crossover. Like, this mechanic is from there. Actually, I should probably... Hold on. Me and my trying to find a good spot for the... It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve a crime scene. Maybe if I put it right there and just... I don't know. Have an idea. Do elaborate. Like, I think she poisoned him, and then the gunshot was like, or at least made him essentially like so unconscious that he couldn't react to the burn, and was then shot later, and then she just like hit the gun and so on, and it's again like in her hat or whatever. That's my working theory. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand. That's what I'm thinking, and the detective waiter has had some of the water too. That could be, yeah. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can. Aha! A killer blow! The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchi is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Runesuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Runesuke? There is one thing I noticed, something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hosonaga. The detective? Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant, if it might present an opening, maybe. Yeah, like that mechanic is in Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright, a very good game. I liked it a lot. It's actually my favorite Professor Layton game, probably. And like, I enjoy almost all Layton games. The only one I kind of disliked was the Catriel Layton one. I finished it. I'm glad I finished it, but it didn't quite speak to me, you know. But the other ones are good, or at least fun. And Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright is Excellent. So good. So good. Right, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement just one more time. If you think so, but... But this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. I wonder what Kazuma is thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose, once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burns his wrist like that. Okay, so again, go back on the... Okay, so go here.
Yes!
Okay, so inferior, lands of Great British Empire, country, investigate once at the end of it. Quite right. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction,
Wait.
vital evidence may be lost. So how do I do this? Like, what's the button to do this? Yeah. Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction just the same as before. Why? Because he reacts the exact same way, no matter how many times she would say this. It's quite interesting. He would be terrible at poker. Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right, look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Or his metro of emotion, yes. Train of thought or subway of emotion. Yes, let's go. Sorry, pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Runus, okay? It's all to do with the witness's marker. His pen? Like, what? His metro of mentality. Good one. There we go. That's, yeah. That works. Thanks. Thank you, Harmo. At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. Good God, the UI is busy. Hold on. There? Maybe? But by moving the marker left and right with A and D, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. Alrighty. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with space. You pursue their personal space. Yeah. If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people in the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, so first I should move the marker across with AD and focus on the detective. Right. Then pursue him with space and see what's on his mind. Here we go. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction... Ah! Evidence may be lost. So D? Yay! Pursue?
Excuse me!
Excuse me! That's pretty good. Excuse me. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts, deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say. If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court.
Objection!
Objection! What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. Hmm? The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. That is true. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes, if you don't mind, I would like to speak. Oh, really? Let's go. Speak away. We're not in a hurry at all. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, resign immediately for my incompetence. I applaud your honesty and your self-awareness in understanding you are a terrible police officer and you should absolutely leave. Maybe pursue a career in being a waiter or just, you know, go for a really long swim and never come back, maybe. It's like, come on. Always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. No. That... nuh-uh. You've proven beyond any shadow of a doubt that that's just not the case and it's a lie and you should, like, stop right now and just... yeah. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't make evidence lacking on my watch. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. Except for the ones that you first cleaned out from the scene and then claimed not to have cleaned out. Do you mean those ones? No? I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. Oh, it's preserving evidence, you see. Okay, so hold on. So first, you said you were told to remove all evidence of the lady's presence from the crime scene. That was the first one, right? Second, you claimed you took nothing from the crime scene in the last testimony or the one before that, right? And now you're claiming again that you are willing to take stuff from the crime scene just because you feel like it. Is essentially what you mean. Therefore, he still has the evidence? Yeah, maybe. Also, sorry about the... I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. You maybe should be, though. But if it helps prove her, like, the truth of the case, sure. And just watch. You're gonna die of the poisoning just before you tell what the thing is, right? Crime scene thief. Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Take this! And you drank from it and are dying, yes? Is that a poison bottle of which you are dying? Yes. This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water, I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle, I can see it. One day, our police force will be among the best in the world. Time is coming, I guarantee it. Yes, I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. That's nice in a courtroom. Like, you know, sentiment in the courtroom is the important bit, not like actual facts and evidence. It's fine. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Based on what? Okay, this... So... I mean, we already accepted just one of his scribblings as evidence, so... If he brings a bottle, then I suppose that's not even as egregious. Sure. Fine. You know, oh, this random incompetent a-hole has been carrying this bottle around for 3 days. Yes, it's evidence, sure. Come on. The carbonated of water on the victim and Miss Brett shared on the day of the murder was on the victim's table. I have a hunch that we prove that it's poisoned by trying to make the lady drink it. I think that's how it might go, or something. Miss Brett. Or we claim it's poison and then try and make out she drink it. That's probably. And he won't drink it, therefore he believes it's poison too. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. I mean, actually the correct one would be that it looks like it. You made a mistake there, Brett. Lady. Swan Lady made a mistake. Definitive answer like that sounds not healthy. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Yeah, but she's done that a lot, though. Just saying. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burned his wrist like that. Okay, where did this go then? Okay, so maybe I now present here the bottle. That's probably what but safety safe because, like, it's probably what happened, but I'm not sure how I prove it without a chemical analysis prepared. That's kind of... But, I mean, show it to me? Yeah, sure. Okay. Let's go. Present. I've pressed so hard to get the bottle. Like, I think that's gotta be it. I've pressed everywhere. I think the only one I haven't pressed is the absolute first one, but I think, like, this route is present this to something. It's gotta be.
Yes!
Yes! What is this? A bottle of water? Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Since these don't really do autopsies, more like they look at them. So, because it's a post-mortem report, not an autopsy. So they don't like open them up and they don't probably have a toxicology or anything. So. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison. Yes. On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Ha 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 ha. Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Ooh. Order in the court. And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could possibly have done it. Zale Brett, it was you!
Objection!
Objection! This is outrageous to suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. I mean, I kind of agree on this one specific thing. I kind of agree with the prosecution here. Like, that's a that's quite the accusation to make without any evidence. However, it hasn't stopped anyone before when accusing me, so you know. You little rookie imbecile, have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Yes, the Afutn, the Afutn treaty, the all-important. I totally, it's so important I can't even quite explain it. Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty? They just look at the body, poke at it to make sure it's dead and call it good. Yep, exactly so. Objection! This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. If I may, I will silence you forever for this disgraceful... Shut up! It is you who should be silent. That's pretty good. Of course. Dear lady... Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, milady, to what are you referring? I described your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector. And whether it contained poison or not. Because it was probably... Well, it could have been in the glass, and that's why you took the glass. Like, she took the glass, therefore the poison is in the glass. Ding. You know? Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And what did you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. Yeah, I picked up on this country. It's kind of an annoying thing to like refer to this country, but I feel like they've mentioned multiple times over that they are in Japan. Period. So, yeah. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No. I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. Well, there we are. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. I mean, that doesn't mean that she couldn't have brought it with her from Great Britain. That's true. This can't be right. But again, like, the bottle doesn't have to be poisoned, just the glass, so... Unless I missed that they talked about the glass as well, but whatever. Everything falls into place if it was poisoned. Like, she took the glass because the poison was in the glass, therefore, and not in the bottle. Like, that's why the glass was in the handbag. Thank you, Counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. Haven't heard anything about a glass either. Yeah, like there's an evidence thing here, if I can just court record. Like, we had a huge point earlier that she has the glass. Here, see? Like, she took it from the scene because she was, like, scared or whatever. No, she took it because it was poisoned. That's why. Clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, A shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death because no, it's not, and you're all morons. Idiots. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? Any new evidence is a bit of a relative term, I think. I'll just make a quick safety save. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Runosuke. I have nothing more. Offer your bandana! Look at this magical bandana, and they will be distracted while I point to the glass. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving. How very Franziska von Karmai of you in the... Oh, hello. Please wait. Isn't that the professor's wife? I don't know, like, I think her name hasn't been mentioned yet. What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, or, I mean, I don't know if they were mentioned to be married, but like the lady who was with the professor, yeah. Susato Mikotoba, judicial assistant to the defense. Mikotoba, yes. In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning and gave me a shock and pointed, "Look at the glass, you moron!" And in her hand she carried a small package wrapped up in a furoshiki cloth. Right, yeah, unless it was mentioned while it was gone, they haven't said her name yet. Yeah, I don't think they have, yeah. Until just now. Like, just right now. Oh, it's a 3-parter, damn. That's a big starting case, whew. Hell yeah. So again, I'll stop the YouTube recording here. If you are watching this on YouTube, please do drop a like or a comment, or even subscribe or share if you want to. It would truly, actually really help. I know it might not seem like it would, but I promise you it absolutely does. All of that. So, like, I can't fully convey into words how much it really does, and it would mean a whole bunch to me as well. And I hope you've enjoyed this, and join me here live on Twitch, because it's hopefully fun to watch me bumble around live over all of this, so have a good one, and smashing the like buttons, I hope. Hell yeah. And see you in the next one.